especially that he's also a friend of Savannah region. Mr. Speaker, with these words, I support the move by the Minister for Education. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Colin Sauda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to add my voice to the earlier speakers who have supported this motion or bill. Mr. Speaker, my support is based on the fact that in the Ahafo region where civil service is and where I come from, there are several senior high schools. I can count as many as 20 senior high schools, all producing students ready to access tertiary education. Unfortunately, we don't have a university in the region, and President Mama has committed to establish a university in all the new regions. And therefore, for me, this university comes with good news for the people of Ahafo, because one of the campuses of the university to be established will be at Achiremsua, which is in my constituency. It is my view that this campus will serve the people of Ahafo as a starter, hoping that in future we would upgrade it to become a full university as the minister has committed to it. But Mr. Speaker, the other thing I wish to raise is the fact that as we establish these universities and churning out graduates from the universities, and the numbers that we churn out year after year, as a nation, it is my view that we have to sit and plan how we can provide jobs for these university graduates upon completion. It is a threat to governance in this country. It is a threat to democracy in this country. Some conscious effort must be put in place to ensure that job opportunities are created to absorb these graduates upon completion of the universities. With these few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion with all my weight and hope that members will support and get it passed. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also like to add my voice in supporting this report. And I'm also very excited that in 2022, when the sword cutting for the construction of this university, I was personally there. And I am very happy. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to note that I was a social studies teacher. And one key thing, one of the subjects that we teach our students was mistakes that Ghana did after independence. And one thing kept appearing, mistakes that Ghana did after independence. One of it was having our educational setup more theoretical than practical. And as we move forward, we tend to increase the humanities subject in our technical institutions. One of such was Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, which was supposed to be a purely science school, but because of sometimes the need for these universities to raise resources, I would only urge that looking at the focus of this university, as we begin, we will maintain this focus in terms of making sure that truly it is purely going to be in the sciences, engineering, and our great base. Mr. Speaker, I also want to urge the minister to also look at, as we talk about job creation, we have a lot of state farms dotted across the district. I can cite Kwamotu State Farm, which is in Ekwapim North and Okwakojo State Farms. When we were young people, they used to have oil palm plantations and other plantations. If you go back to see the state of these state farms, one, it is non-functional, and two, even it is turning into residential areas. And this is very disturbing. As we are going to produce students into engineering and agric, we should be able to have spaces for them to even practice and also have their own entrepreneurship production in terms of agriculture. And so I want to urge that as a house, the Minister of Education and the Ministry of Agric will start looking at these state farms that have been left, practically doing nothing. As we talk about food security, we'll talk about capacity building in these areas. It will be an interesting area for us to have as practicals for these students which we are going to enroll. Not only them, the University of Ghana Agri Department and all that. I live that Ashie area, and you saw those days they produce local yogurt, they produce milk. We are talking about job creation and 24-hour economy. So, leader, what I want to say is that I am very excited that 4 years down the lane, we have seen the continuation of this university, and finally we are going to see recruitment into this university. This is one of the projects that has been timely, because at the time it was mentioned that the first batch of students will be in October 2026, and that was from 4 years back. And we are here today ahead of our schedule to approve the bill. So on this, with these few words, I want to commend the Minister of Education and the committee, and also to add my voice to the support of this report. Thank you very much.
Honorable Jerry Ahmed, you were on your feet a few minutes ago. You have the floor. Please do have the floor.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, as I rise to add my voice to this motion, let me first commend the Minister of Education for reconsidering the earlier initiative by the previous government, Nanado Baumia government, the need to ferry this bill to this hallowed chamber. Speaker, as Professor Kingsley said, this bill was originally brought, and you had my friend, now the Deputy Minister, who vehemently opposed his lane, just the lane, in 2022. Speaker, by God's grace today, we have this opportunity to have the government of today to rebrand the same bill, the same institution, and bring it for consideration. Speaker, whilst at that,
Honourable members, ordinarily I won't take the majority chief whip, but certain things have been said. I was also a member of the education committee at that material moment, so I'll give him the floor. Yes,
Speaker. Yes, not just that he's my colleague leader, he's my brother. I am the son's godfather, and he knows that on grounds of order 122. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm going about it that way. That he was not here in 2022. He was not here, and the deputy minister was then deputy ranking. So he should withdraw that part. He has a way that he can make that point without saying it the way he did. So withdraw that portion and let's make progress.
Speaker, today, whilst we are before you in this chamber, there is something very critical that we have to look at from the same bill. Speaker, from the report that says, Speaker, with your permission, if I may read the second paragraph of the background, which says that university education has since independence remained largely accessible to a very small segment of the Ghanaian society. The introduction of the free senior high school, Speaker, emphasis, the introduction of the free senior high school education will soon impact on university education. Simply start. Speaker, what we are trying to do is to understand that the free senior high school has come to stay, and it's been very beneficial to each and every one who's found reason to continue education into the university level. Speaker, you know the good part about this university? Speaker, it's a university that is going to deal with engineering and agricultural sciences. Speaker, my interest is the agricultural sciences. Speaker, recently I had the opportunity of being in Barcelona, and I learned a lot with reference to IT or AI, the use of AI. Speaker, my view is that if we are going to agricultural sciences, are we considering integrating AI or mechanization or modern ways of farming? If that is the case, which I believe that is one of the reasons why we are discussing this bill, then we ought to move from advising people to sink boreholes in cocoa farms. Speaker, there is also the consideration for us to think thoroughly about even our own projects. We should get farmers well educated so that the Kukon Kitinkiti project will come to stay, and it wouldn't be just a campaign promise and would be some noise out there. Speaker, and this is because if we are able to learn the lessons from the Akonfirm project.
Please keep to order 127.
Speaker, I'm very much guided. Speaker, the point is that AI is the order of the day. The essence of this university would accord students a lot of new forms of learning, especially into farming and agriculture as a whole. Speaker, if we are able to adopt such measures, there is the need for us to now know that when we are farming, we'll farm with ease. We'll use the right products, the right farm techniques. And therefore, Speaker, this is the right time to reintroduce this bill and to ensure that it goes through all the stages for it to be passed. Speaker, I rest my case, and thank you very much.
Yes, Deputy Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion and the report by the Education Committee on the establishment of the University of Engineering and Agricultural Sciences. I wish to commend His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and the Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, for this great initiative. Mr. Speaker, we all recall that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has made university education or tertiary education free for persons with disability. I want to appeal to the Minister that we should ensure that whatever facilities are going to be constructed at these campuses should be disability friendly. And I believe that as they go to school for free and the facilities are disability friendly, it's going to help them in their studies. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Well, members, Honorable Minority Leader, I thought you seconded the motion. You seconded the... No. It was a procedure that is... Okay, I'll give you the floor. You want to yield to your ranking? Yes, but practically, let's see what happened in the House. You will be the fifth person to speak from your side. So if you add it up, 10 members of Parliament debating a motion. That's why I'm asking whether you want to yield to him.
Speaker, you want to speak? Speaker, let me plead that being who he is, let him have a bite, but limit him to say 5 minutes. Then we can take leader. Then we can close it. Because of the role he played in his past life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you have the floor.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I remember hearing you say that you were part of the committee, and I also happened to be at that time the Minister for Education.
Sure.
And I'm grateful to Nana Addo Kufuor for giving me that opportunity to lead a charge in the establishment of the university. I remember the day we went to cut the salt and began looking at how this university can come alive. And I'm also grateful to the Minister for Education for not changing the name of the university. The name that was given to it in the bill that was coming before this House is the name that has been maintained, and I'm grateful to you, Minister. And I also want to say this, that this is all about continuity. And continuing this and going there to make sure that we can open this school is something I want to commend my colleague for. But today is a very good moment for all of us, for our nation, that we are going to have a university that will lead the charge in STEM education and continue to do more for this country. I'm very grateful to the chair of the committee and to all those members of the committee that helped this effort. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity to add my voice to this important legislation. Mr. Speaker, as my colleagues have said, my duty basically is to sum up the views of the minority on this important bill. Mr. Speaker, the minority stands in support of the principles of establishing the University of Engineering and Agricultural Sciences. Our country's development future depends on engineering capacity, agricultural innovation, and technical expertise. And we are proud to have championed access to higher education across this republic. But, Mr. Speaker, support for a principle is not a blank check for a flawed bill. It is precisely because we want this university to succeed that we stand here today to demand it to be properly constituted, properly funded, and properly accountable. Mr. Speaker, why do we raise concerns in spite of our support for the bill? One, Mr. Speaker, not too long ago, we were informed that His Excellency the President had assured the people in Volta region, particularly those in the enclave where Ohawu Training Agric College is situated, that it was going to be a full university. It was going to be upgraded to a full university with the necessary legislation. Mr. Speaker, we also had a statement from Honorable Edem Agbana, which statement a referral was made to the Education Committee to consider and report for further referral to the Ministry of Education. Mr. Speaker, having gone through the report and the bill itself, I don't see anywhere that Ohawu Agric College is mentioned. However, in the minister's submission, he indicated that Ohawu Agric College is going to be one of the campuses. But, Mr. Speaker, the bill, the report does not capture that. More so, the report is saying that there would be only 3 campuses as indicated in the original bill, and any other campus would have to be approved by GTEC. Mr. Speaker, there are 2 issues here. One, the safe landing that the Minister of Education is providing is not captured. 2, Mr. Speaker, the issue is not about making Ohawu a campus. The issue is about the assurances given to the chiefs and the people there that that part of the Volta region where Ohawu Agri College is, we need to create a space for economic growth. And Mr. Speaker, in creating that space for economic growth, we are not only looking at the student population, but the entire value chain. Mr. Speaker, in fact, the day this statement was made, my dad was very happy because he was one of the early students who trained in that college
and was later sent to Modena for agric mechanization training. So the 82-year-old man was very happy. But we hear from the Minister of Education that now it is going to be a campus and it's not even captured. Mr. Speaker, will beg a very huge question for an answer. I therefore would want the policy to be reconsidered. Mr. Speaker, that said, the respected Honorable Collins Dauda made a very profound statement, and I don't want that statement to just remain the way it is. First, I adopt that aspect of his contribution as though they were mine, and at the risk of adding to the superfluity of that statement, let me say a few things. Mr. Speaker, oftentimes we initiate, but we forget about the value chain, the end product. Mr. Speaker, we have so many universities in Ghana. I'm not against establishing universities, but what practical policies do we put in place for job creation? And Honorable Collins Dauda couldn't have said it better. Mr. Speaker, there's a huge national security threat. Yesterday, I met a 70-year-old man, at Achimota Golf Course. And he said to me, Alex, you the political leaders, can't you sit down and agree on the core national issues? Education, health. You cannot focus on these two and benefit from its positive effect in job creation and the private sector. Each one of you come in, you get your 4 years, and you are thinking of how to undo the other in terms of policy. Mr. Speaker, what has become of the National Development Planning Commission? 2 weeks ago, when I had the opportunity of addressing a gathering on centrism, it was one of the issues I addressed. The National Development Planning Commission is there and is toothless. We, the political leaders, have turned it into some partisan body. It is not supposed to be so. Our partisan manifesto must find expression in that national policy, and any political party must subscribe to that national policy. Mr. Speaker, that would mean having practical steps embedded in a policy for job creation. Mr. Speaker, the over 506,000 youths who bought the forms, who are graduates, Mr. Speaker, for security recruitment should be of worry to us. Establishing this university, Mr. Speaker, colleague, please, establishing this university would lead to educating our people, but would it lead to creating jobs? Mr. Speaker, let's go to Switzerland. Switzerland, as a country, Mr. Speaker, they have a policy which encourages apprenticeship. Mr. Speaker, I'm not against university education, because we live in a fluid media environment. I'm very careful how I put this so that somebody will not go somewhere and say Afenyo Makin or the minority are against establishing universities, or they don't want many Ghanaians to benefit from university education. No. But at the heart of the job creation, the job market is technical education, vocational training. There's nothing wrong with calling it engineering institution. But Mr. Speaker, there's a huge space where our youth lack technical education. We are investing in formal education, helping our children to earn white-collar job certificates. So he has a degree and he looks down on some apprenticeship that would have even created opportunity for him. I think the policy should be broader, and I'm happy the Minister of Education is here. We are making a huge mistake. We complain about Galamsey, but a lot of them are frustrated and they are there. It's a serious national security threat. This is not a period for partisanship. It's about our country, Ghana, and the policies that we implement and enact as a people. We've been elected to a privileged situation. The people have a high expectation, and the nature of the world of today, they know more than we think we know. We may be taken by surprise someday, maybe soon, and then when that someday comes, that someday will not know MPP or NDC, gentlemen and ladies. When that someday comes, there will be no distinction between MPP and NDC. So I am taking advantage of this opportunity to urge upon us, whilst we create the opportunity for education, let us equally be serious about what will create the jobs, support for the private sector, opportunities for those who would want to go into industry, focusing on technical and vocational education, making apprenticeship attractive so that there will be equity, there will be balance. Somebody who has the knowledge will not necessarily say, I am going to university for a degree to become somebody in society, but somebody who goes to learn welding and learns it well and goes through a period of training will be proud of being a welder, because his bread will be buttered as a welder, rather than churning out a lot of graduates, degree holders, and they are in the system and they will not want to go into any apprenticeship because he has a degree. Meanwhile, the opportunity is in technical training. Mr. Speaker, I would conclude by saying that in Ghana today, a lot of the youth who are well skilled in vocational training from Nigeria, from Togo, from Burkina, are the ones at all construction sites. So government will say, I've created, say, 500,000 jobs. But those jobs, are they jobs that Ghanaians are doing? No. Each one of us here, let's go to all the construction sites. You want a mason, Togolese. You want a carpenter, Nigerian. You want a steel bender, Togolese. Those who do POP, tile laying. Mr. Speaker, there's a huge job opportunity there. But because our people have not been trained in that area of skill, all of them are chasing masters, BSc, BA. That space has gone to others who are foreigners, and our people are now complaining. One day that they will say choboy on us, we may not have anywhere to hide. So, Mr. Speaker, I conclude by urging upon the respected Minister of Education, who was once upon a time a leader of this house, to take this contribution from Honorable Collins Dauda and my good self on board and enact a policy out of these views aimed at addressing technical education. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Education, Honorable Yao Educhum, as he then was, had taken steps in STEM education, and he took steps to equip over 48 vocational training institutions in Ghana. He started that project. Honorable Minister of Education, your steps are commendable, but I urge upon you to continue that part of technical and vocational education. Make apprenticeship attractive. Help a lot more of our children, instead of chasing for white-colored certificate. They should also chase for their trade. In Sanrejuma, they say it in front. In Sanrejuma, they should choose trade, so that, Mr. Speaker, when government is creating jobs in construction, our people will be there. You come to Winneba, almost all construction sites are being taken over by foreigners. They have trained. Togolese have invested in vocational and technical education. In Nigeria, a lot of investment in vocational and technical education, but we have invested heavily in white-colored certificates. Even our nurses, our teachers is a problem. But a lot more may not want to be teachers or nurses. You cannot recruit all of them. But in the vocational and technical training sector, there's a huge opportunity, unlimited, that should engage our attention as we enact policies. Mr. Speaker, that said, I would want to thank you for this treasure space and pray that the minister will take these concerns on board at the consideration stage, which I pray it is not going to be rushed today. We, the minority, have some few concerns that would want to put forth to enrich this bill. But Mr. Speaker, this bill must not be rushed. We need time, we need to winnow so that the proper thing is done. We don't need to rush and say we are going for consideration today. We must not do that. We must winnow. Look at it. The ranking member was not in the know. He just came, and then Mr. Speaker, although he attended the committee meeting this side of the house, we also have a technical backup for our committee. We need to meet our technical team, our technical advisors as a caucus, so that the necessary input could be made to enrich this bill. If we want to rush it, Mr. Speaker, the country will be denying that opportunity. Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, let me conclude comments from members by thanking His Excellency the President for pursuing this matter and bringing this dream to fruition. And also, of course, the sector minister, through whose tireless efforts today we are here. Mr. Speaker, this journey was begun sometime in 2016, in October, November. And let the record reflect that it's taken us so long. But we are here. And we also hope that this will serve as a growth pool. Mr. Speaker, a growth pool simply means it has a capacity of attracting other businesses and industries to the area when the university is set up. Speaker, my understanding is that in respect of clause 3 of the bill, 2 campuses will be established in Kenya, in the Ashanti region, and at Trinsua in the Ahafo region. Speaker, but the background information is that in the course of the stakeholder engagement, a delegation of chiefs were invited to participate from the Sutifi North traditional area. And so the decision of the ministry is that a campus of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, UNE in Sunyani, will be established in Kenya, in the Sutifi North district. So in the Ahafo region. So this university will have a campus in Trinsua, and the Kenyasi is not the Ahafo one, but it's Kenyasi in the Ashanti region. But the Kenyasi for Sutifi will be amended to reflect that it's a campus from UNE. So all these traditional areas will be catered for in terms of establishment of campuses. Speaker, with this, we thank the committee for a good work done, and we hope that the consideration will be expeditiously done so the bill will be passed. I thank you for the opportunity.
Members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it, the motion is adopted.
An act to establish the University of Engineering and Agricultural Sciences and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the University of Engineering and Agricultural Science Bill 2025 is duly read for the second time. Yes, Majority Leader.
Speaker, may we, Speaker, we want to move to consideration. Let's do consideration, Mr. Speaker. The mood of the House is that.
Honourable members, as we engage, permit me to acknowledge the presence of our pupils from BCSC Catholic Primary and KG, led by Robert Mensah a teacher. They are from Ajumako and Yan. SCM, they numbered 67. All members, on your behalf, I welcome them to Parliament and urge them to have a fruitful visit. You may kindly resume your seats. Yes. Yes. Honorable Majority Chief Whip. Honorable Majority Chief Whip, what is the next business?
Mr. Speaker, the proposal is that we take motion number 4 on other paper addendum. Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, I'm quite sure that in my submissions, I was very unequivocal. I had expressed the views of this side of the House on this every now and then. The pensions for ration of bills by the majority. Mr. Speaker, in principle, this is a good legislation. You want to set up a university, we support you. But we are saying that allow Parliament to enrich the bill so that when the law is passed, it will stand the test of time. Mr. Speaker, the Majority Chief Whip cannot bulldoze his way through. The Minister of Education is a very respected member of this House. A lot of us took notes. Whenever he was speaking, we were taking notes. Those days. And we know his love for parliamentary procedure. Mr. Speaker, and above all, scrutiny. He is a master of scrutiny. How can you bring his bill and you say we should rush it today? Mr. Speaker, do not fall into that temptation. Do not fall into that temptation. It is a whole valley made up of a shadow of confusion that they want to push you into that valley. Mr. Speaker, do not fall. Let us not proceed with this application for leave to move into consideration. In any event, look at your back, look behind you. How many people? You're 189. How many people do you have to proceed on such an important law? You are not even up to 50. You must first have the ability to motivate your back before you embark on such a path.
Minority Leader, my suggestion is that we should take...
Mr. Speaker, I'm concluding. But we can be very magnanimous with you on this matter. You can start, because I just ferried the amendment of the caucus to the table office because we are just seeing it. So we can manage the situation. Mr. Speaker, we are not litigants, we are not obstructionists, we are constructive. We are. You won't have your way. Majority Chief Whip, you will not have your way. This mighty minority, you have your way. Because you don't even have your numbers. You don't. You have nothing. You have your way. Even recruitment, common recruitment, you can't take care of your members. You can't take care of your members. You only call them into meeting when we strike. So we'll strike so that you take care of them. That's what I'm doing. You can't take your back for granted. Mr. Speaker, so we'll take 1 or 2 clauses. Ministers agree, we'll take 1 or 2 clauses. When we were few, you thought you have your way. You won't. We'll just take 1 or 2.
Motion numbered for on other paper.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. But they themselves should second. We will
Minister
not second. Carry your own cross.
Education.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that notwithstanding the provisions of Order 1691 of the Standing Orders, which requires that when a bill has been read a second time, the bill shall pass through a consideration stage, which shall not be taken until at least 2 sitting days have lapsed. The consideration stage of the University of Engineering and Agricultural Sciences Bill 2025 may be moved today. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion move, any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. This is a procedural motion. As many as are in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Now, the University of Engineering and Agriculture Science Bill 2025 is at consideration stage. Clause 1, Chairman of the Committee.
Establishment of the University of Engineering and Agricultural Sciences.
Chairman of the Committee.
Mr. Speaker, there is no proposed amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, I'll put a question to clause 1. As many as are in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 1 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 2.
Aims of the university.
Chairman of the Committee, amendment II at page 2 of order paper addendum.
Amendment proposed.
Sub
clause 1, paragraph C, line 3. After research, insert and innovation. I so move.
Members, the proposed amendment is for your consideration. In the absence of any further amendment, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of the amendment proposed by the chairman of the committee say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment by the chairman of the committee is ordered to stand part of the bill. Chairman of the committee, aye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Amendment proposed. Sub clause 2, paragraph B, line 2, after teaching, insert learning.
Members, the proposed amendment is for the consideration of the House. Any further amendment? I'll put a question. As many as I yes.
Mr. Speaker, if I got the chairman of the committee right, he said the proposal is to 2B. And he said after teaching, we should insert learning. Yes, so if you put learning there, it is not correct, so unless you do end learning. So the proposal should be teaching and learning. So the session should be end learning.
Yes, honourable member, you are right. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment is ordered to stand part of the bill. After teaching, insert, and learning. I'll put a question on entire clause 2. As many as are in favor of clause 2 as amended, standing part of the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, clause 2 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 3.
Campuses of the university.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed clause 3, sub clause 2, paragraph A, delete and insert the following. Ohabu in the Volta region. I so move.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, I'll put a question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment to clause 3 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Now I'll put a question on the entire clause 3. As many as are in favor of clause 3 as amended, standing part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 3 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 4.
Award of degrees, diplomas and certificates.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, there is no proposed amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 4? In the absence of any proposed amendment, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 4 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 5.
University Council.
Chairman Ivy.
Mr. Speaker, proposed amendment. Clause 5, sub clause 1, paragraph D, sub paragraph V, delete and insert the following new paragraphs as advertised. I so move.
Honourable members, the proposed amendment is for your consideration. Yes. Deputy Minister for Education, I thought you are on your feet to propose an amendment. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of the amendment proposed by the chairman of the committee, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment by the chairman of the committee is ordered to stand part of the bill. All other members of parliament, please kindly resume your seats so that when somebody is up to contribute, we know. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to propose an amendment to clause 5.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, clause 5, 1C. 3 other persons nominated by the president, at least one of whom is a woman. Mr. Speaker, in favor of affirmative action, I propose that the 3 nominees, at least 2 of them should be a woman. I so propose. Move, Mr. Speaker.
Well, honourable members, it's for your consideration. But for me, there is existing rendition can make all the 3 a woman. But the minimum limit is this thing. Even all the board members can even be women. So that's why the word is at least. It doesn't mean that 2 or 3 cannot be a woman. That is the meaning that I'm gathering. So all the 3 can even be women. So you just set in.
Okay, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Let me abandon the.
Very well. Chairman moved amendment number V to clause 5.
Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed. Clause 5, sub clause 1, paragraph D, sub paragraph VII, delete and insert the following new sub paragraphs as advertised. I so move.
Members, it is for your consideration. I'll put a question in the absence of any further amendment. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment is ordered to stand part of the bill. Chairman VI.
Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed. Sub clause 1, paragraph D, sub paragraph IX, line 1, after university insert, who is not a member of staff of the university. I so move.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the proposed amendment by the chairman of the committee in VI is ordered to stand part of the bill. Yes, Chairman VII.
Amendment proposed. Sub clause 5. Clause 5, sub clause 1, paragraph D. Insert the following new sub paragraph as advertised. I so move.
Honourable members, it is for your consideration. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of the proposed amendment by the chairman of the committee say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment is ordered to stand part of the bill. Now I'll put a question on clause 5 as variously amended. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 5 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 6.
Functions of the Council.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, amendment proposed. Clause 6, paragraph 1. After decision, delete maker and insert body to read decision-making body. I so move.
Honourable members, it is for your consideration. In the absence of any proposed amendment, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of the proposed amendment by the chairman of the committee say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment to clause 6 by the chairman of the committee is ordered to stand part of the bill. I would put a question on the entire clause 6. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 6, as amended, is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 7.
General powers of the Council.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, there is no proposed amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment to clause 7? In the absence of any proposed amendment, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The clause 7 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 8.
Tenure of office of members of the Council.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, there is no proposed amendment.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of clause 8 standing part of the bill say aye. As many as are in favor of clause 8 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Clause 8 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 9.
Meetings of the Council.
Chairman of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, clause 9, amendment proposed. Sub-clause 2, delete 9 and insert 11. I so move.
It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, any proposed amendment? In the absence of any proposed amendment, I'll put a question. As many as are in favor of clause 9 standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Clause 9 is ordered to stand part of the bill. Yes.
Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, my brother opposite me had a discussion that in view of some intervening matters, we should do only 4 clauses. Mr. Speaker, these were his words. And I relied on same and informed my side. Mr. Speaker, he shouldn't resolve. This is the understanding we had. We also have some amendment. Please, Eche, this is what we've agreed. Please, let's be doing just that.
Yes, so, honourable members, can we move to the Securities and Intelligence Bill and continue?
Speaker, indeed, yes.
The consideration.
Indeed, yes. We may conclude this one and take the Securities Bill and Intelligence Bill.
So we pause this one here.
Mr. Speaker.
We pause this one here.
Yes.
Yes.
For today.
So,
for today.
This brings us to the end of the consideration stage of the University of Engineering and Agricultural Science Bill 2026 for today.
Speaker, we take item number 23 on the substantive order paper.
Honourable members, the Securities and Intelligence Agencies Bill 2025 at consideration stage.
That one we take 15. Jerry, we do 20 clauses.
Honorable members will defer clause 14, 16, and 17 as the Unum Committee been able to work on them.
Speaker, no. So they will remain deferred.
Very
so
well.
We'll make progress with the unconsidered clauses in this matter.
Very well. So we are moving on to clause 21.
Investigation of complaints.
Chairperson of the committee. You have amendment as in VI.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, there's a V to start with.
Very well. V before VI, yeah.
Yes. Clause 21, amendment proposed, subclause 1, paragraph B, line 1. After Director General, insert concerned. I so move.
Honourable members, the proposed amendment is for the consideration of the House. I'll put a question. As many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendment is adopted. Yes, VI. Numbered VI, Minority Leader Osahin Alexander Kwamina Afanyo Maki.
Speaker, with respect, I rise to move the amendment contained in today's order paper, page 21, amendment numbered VI clause 21. Mr. Speaker, the amendment proposed after subclause 3 of the main clause, insert the following new subclauses. For a person who is aggrieved by an act or omission of the council or a security or intelligence agency may, in addition to any remedy under this act, lodge a complaint with the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice in accordance with Article 218 of the Constitution. 5. The lodging of complaint under subsection 4 shall not preclude the complainant from pursuing any other lawful remedy available under this act or any other enactment. 6. A security or intelligence agency shall not victimize, discipline, or otherwise prejudice a person for lodging a complaint in good faith under this act or before the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. Mr. Speaker, I believe these amendments are self-explanatory. Mr. Speaker, right to seek redress, Mr. Speaker, are far right and very constitutional. So, Mr. Speaker, providing an elaborate avenue for such right to be exercised, it's only part of fulfilling one of the promises of the Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, I hold a view that these rights must not be withheld, since withholding same will be amounting to denying those aggrieved their constitutional rights. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think I have to belabor. I discussed with my colleagues opposite me, and I didn't get any impression that this provision in any way goes against the... No, I didn't say you. I said my colleagues, you know, and Mr. Speaker, they seem not to have anything against the introduction of these subclauses. But Mr. Speaker, these are not matters for records. Now that the opportunity is there and they've seen the intendment of my proposal, I believe that the committee members can have an opportunity to express their own views on same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, but Minority Leader, let's look at it this way. Clause 21 is investigation of a complaint, and it reads, a person who is aggrieved by an act or omission of a security and intelligence agency may submit a written or oral complaint to the National Security Coordinator, where the complaint is against the Office of the National Security Coordinator or the Director General. The National Security Coordinator or a Director General shall examine the complaint and take appropriate action within 30 days after the date of the receipt of the complaint. Now, a person who makes a complaint to the National Security Coordinator or a Director General under this section may, where action is not taken or the person is dissatisfied with the action taken by the National Security Coordinator or the Director General, submit a written complaint to the Chief Justice. So these are the procedures that are being spelled out. And then the Chief Justice shall, on receipt of a complaint under Section 21, appoint within 60 days a tribunal of 3 persons to examine and determine the issue in the complaint. Now, the tribunal shall consist of justices of the High Court or a retired justices of the High Court or a lawyer who qualifies to be appointed as justices of the High Court as chairperson and 2 other persons. So if you are again saying, Minority Leader, that particular complaint should go to Shiraj in the order of that particular arrangement, is Shiraj going to serve as an appeal body over the committee that will be constituted, the tribunal that will be constituted by the Chief Justice? Because the remedy available is that you first submit the complaint to them. If you are dissatisfied or they didn't work on it, then the complaint goes straight to Chief Justice. But instead, your amendment is proposing that it should rather go before Commission on Human Rights.
Speaker, thank you for that elaborate explanation. But, Mr. Speaker, let us argue in terms of Article 218. Mr. Speaker, the question is whether or not there is any estoppel that operates within the context of your explanation, which is to say that because of these provisions, you are completely stopped from pursuing certain constitutional rights as contained in Article 218. Mr. Speaker,
yes, you can read Article 218 and we'll come to a conclusion that if you carry out this amendment, it will be problematic because the act and omission of the council may not only be human rights in nature. And then the jurisdiction of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice is limited to issues of human rights. So if you are saying that if you are aggrieved by an act or omission of the council, go before the human rights.
Speaker, with respect, if you paid due regard to my amendment, I was saying that this amendment is being proposed in addition to any other remedy that is available. Mr. Speaker, yes, the Constitution, if you read chapter 5 and the various articles there too, you have certain rights conferred upon you to access the courts when your rights are being violated. The same Constitution talks about church. And Mr. Speaker, let me read what 21A says. It says the functions of the Commission shall be defined and prescribed by Act of Parliament and shall include the duty to A, to investigate complaints of violation of fundamental rights and freedoms, injustice, corruption, abuse of power, and unfair treatment to any person by a public officer in the exercise of his official duties. So, Mr. Speaker, my argument is this, that to the extent that the Constitution itself provides for this, and you have it as an additional remedy, we should have it in the law. We should have it in the law. Because, Mr. Speaker, let's go to chapter 5, the rights under chapter 5. Mr. Speaker, the chapter 5 rights include, Mr. Speaker, protection of right to life, personal liberty, respect for human dignity, protection from slavery, etc. And the Constitution provides in all of these, Mr. Speaker, particularly 12, I read, fundamental human rights and freedoms enshrined in this chapter shall be respected and upheld by the executive, legislature, and judiciary, and all other organs of government and its agencies, and where applicable to them by all natural and legal persons in Ghana, and shall be enforceable by the court as provided for in this Constitution. Meaning, Mr. Speaker, that when a person feels aggrieved, he can resort to a court action straight away. At the same time, 218 provides another avenue where a person will decide to lodge a complaint in situations where he also feels that his rights are being abused. All I am saying, Mr. Speaker, in my amendment is that we are adding this. I'm just trying to lift the provisions in 218 for same to be available to an officer who may be aggrieved. I'm not saying that because we have those elaborate provisions that allow for grievances to be lodged and all, we should just limit ourselves. Mr. Speaker, we cannot. Let's open it up. Let's open it up.
Yes, the problem that I have is that, for instance, if the omission or acts of the commission or the intelligence agencies resulted in negligence, will they go before a commission of human rights and administrative justice?
Speaker, if you pick it that way, then you may be creating some problem. Mr. Speaker, the language is may. So the aggrieved person will now have to, in consultation with his lawyer, would have to look at the nature of the complaint and which platform he or she would want to exercise. That is why I'm saying, in addition to, Mr. Speaker, when your interrogation becomes like the bench and the bar, so if I'm not properly prepared, I'm caught off guard. Mr. Speaker, you know, it's been long since I went to the Supreme Court.
No, I just want us to get it.
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
What this particular bill is seeking to do is to provide some domestic remedies. Whose domestic remedy, if exhausted, then the way is open for you. And I believe there are remedies under the law establishing SHRAJ, which is available for everybody. But for the purposes of this law, it is saying that if you have a complaint in 21, first let the complaint goes to the security coordinator. If the security coordinator has not been able to handle it, or you are dissatisfied about the way that is handled, apply to the Chief Justice. Then the Chief Justice will constitute a committee to deal with the matter. When you are dissatisfied with the work of the committee, then the world is open for you to take advantage and then seek remedy where it is appropriate. So if you add this, then it means that you are adding a remedy under the SHRAJ law as part of the domestic remedies under this law. That is where I'm having a difficulty.
I noticed that my friend John Dako was trying to catch your eye. I would want to yield to him
very well
to make his input.
Yes,
and
very well, very well, yes. Very well.
Yeah, thank you very much, Leader and Speaker. Speaker, if you see what the minority leader is trying to do, is trying to ensure that these security personnel or anybody who is aggrieved by the operators of this act can choose which of the remedies available to apply to. The Speaker, you see that if, for instance, a security person feels aggrieved by this act, in most cases, they may not want to go to their institution, the home remedy you are suggesting. Some of them will rather want to go straight to SHRAJ because there is a fear that when you go straight to your officers, the seniors, you might not even get the justice that you deserve. So what this amendment seeks to do is to give this person the opportunity to now decide, okay, I'd rather go to SHRAJ rather than coming to my superiors who may victimize me just by complaining, or who might not give me the justice I deserve. And so if you look at the rendition, I think that is very important. It says that this person may, in addition to the remedy under the law, so the person, the remedy still exists, but may choose to go to SHRAJ. And clearly, 218 gives us the issues that can be brought before SHRAJ. And clearly, that would mean that this person feels that his or her human rights are being violated, and the person would rather go to SHRAJ rather than probably lodging a complaint.
Yes.
Which might not.
Normally, what happens is that we have domestic remedies. There are general remedies. The issue regarding to SHRAJ is a general remedy available for everybody. Is that not the case? Now, the essence of domestic remedy is that you can go to SHRAJ and they will come and tell you that, oh, this is an issue that they can resolve internally based on the domestic remedy. So give them the opportunity to do the remedy before. The fact that you have these domestic remedies does not mean that you are prevented from going to SHRAJ. That's why if you look at this, the law didn't talk about you assessing your relief in court. You have unfettered access to court. you have unfettered access to scratch. But this is just providing some domestic remedies. Then if you adopt this rendition, then we must as well bring the issue relating to court, that you must as well also go to court if you feel like. But those are places open for you to seek your relief. It's like what happened in the case of GPLTU versus Danfur. Is that not the case, if my memory serves me right? Where they came to court to say that, they have a domestic remedy, that ABCD must happen. You have not exhausted the domestic remedy, yet you have come to court. And the court says, I will not dismiss the action, I will have the action stayed. Go and exhaust the domestic remedy. If you are not satisfied, then we are here, you can come. The same way, they can go before Shraj, that yes, the person is here to seek a remedy before you as an adjudicating body. But our law says that first, let the coordinator be aware of your complaint. He may address it, but if he is not able to address it, the Chief Justice will constitute a committee to deal with the issue. And if you are dissatisfied, then the way is open for you. But my challenge is making the remedy before Shraj as part of the domestic remedies that should be available. Yes.
Speaker, I think we understand your position, and clearly so the Constitution makes that provision, and this bill also provides for a remedy, which includes reporting to the security coordinator. But the express provision in the bill as is being proposed is very important because of the nature of institution that we are dealing with. And so if you create that express provision, then the person will not be stopped, as you are indicating. If it had gone to court prematurely, then the court will ask you to go and exhaust the internal processes. But once this express provision is made, you, the complainant, has an option to go through either reporting directly to the security coordinator through that medium, or you go to Shraj. And there are good reasons why in setting up some of these legislations, we should protect the interest of those individuals, particularly using the Shraj medium, because you know, Mr. Speaker, that when you go under the Commission for Human Rights, there's a lot of protection, there's a lot of security for you yourself in terms of the complaint, rather than exhausting it internally. Internally, there may be a lot of challenges. So if it doesn't necessarily, initially you're talking about defeating the process as has been listed there. But clearly you can see that it is not going to defeat, but rather strengthen that position. And so I think...
Well, I would put a question, but my feeling is that if you give this option as being proposed by the minority leader, it would therefore mean that without the security coordinator being aware of the issue, without he receiving a complaint, failing to work on it or working on it, and then you are dissatisfied, anybody who has a complaint may go straight to Shraj. That is what it will mean. You understand? So that is the reason for which he, being in charge, should know that this is what is happening in my outfit. Then you can make progress. Yes?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The thinking of the committee and all the people who were involved in this business is not to open up the security, the intelligence agencies widely. There is a way that we ought to control it, and we should not be given too many options, and that's one of the options that they are proposing. The point is that ultimately, whoever is aggrieved is still entitled, after he has become dissatisfied with the outcome of the process, he is still entitled. Nobody can stop him. But as you put it, the provisions of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice applies to every other person. This is specific to this particular legislation. This is specific to the intelligence agencies, and we don't want to open it up unnecessarily. It is possible that if you give that option, like you quite indicated, the first option for the person to exercise is to write to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice instead of exhausting what we have. And so we don't want to have that. So we reject that particular proposal. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Yes, the chairperson.
Thank you. Right Honourable Speaker, in clause 42, which makes reference to the regulations, what the committee did because of the issue